3 days ago, during the vetting of Deputy Attorney General Justice Sai, during the vetting, Afenyo Markin used certain words on the chairman of the committee. Now, chairman Afenyo Markin said on sign because that words no use to yen. No, and Afenyo Markin can say on sign until back and forth. And Afenyo Markin MPP for a sorry a PA free vetting as which means that they boycotted it. Now, Kwesi Pratt Jr. Any Inusa Fuseni or your former NDC MP or Tamale Central, I guess. Omodin same say Atuja Afa Afenyo Markin say Kwesi Pratt could describe Bono as a comedian. Timumi Ankwan Sama Kwesi Pratt any Inusa Fuseni Edituja Afa Afenyo Markin for.
I'm so embarrassed, I mean, to think that the vetting of ministerial nominees was aborted because the minority in parliament wanted the nominee to dance Agbaja. and it was not allowed. I mean, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. What is this? This is so very embarrassing. I mean, I've seen vetting before. I mean, recently I was watching and I had problems with some of the questions which were being asked, from the minority side. There was one instance where a nominee was asked to sing his favorite high life song. And I was wondering, what is happening here? Then on the majority side, there's this MP. As soon as the nominee takes the seat, the MP starts, oh, you are more than qualified for the job. You don't have any problem. You will excel. Anyway, bye-bye. And so, what is the quality of vetting? But I think what happened yesterday or so, is the worst. The disruption of the vetting process because of Agbaja. And then sometimes the nominees are asked to speak their local languages. Oh, you say you speak Ga. Speak some Ga. And then the nominee will also rattle a few words in Ga and so on. What is that? What is that? It is so embarrassing. And Kwame, my prediction, if the current trend continues, if the minority is not able to show that it is focused on the essential things, the things that the Ghanaian people consider essential, the bread and butter issues, the kinky and fish issues, the improvement in our road network, the expansion of access to social services like health and education, this micro minority, they will be lucky to have a micro minority in the next elections. What they will get will be far worse than the micro minority.
Let's look at what Mr. Gade has said. Publicly, you are conducting the vetting process in accordance with the rules of parliament. The rules of parliament says that certain words cannot be used.
Yeah.
That is a way to challenge your chairman. And your chairman takes exception, overrules your question. You don't invoke the processes of parliament. You exhibit arrogance and impunity. You talked about the 1996 parliament. Can you look at the constitution of that parliament? The caliber of people.
Yeah, right now we've reduced that.
Yes. Quality. You're looking at quality. Well, I talked about LPP losing and appointed figures at Akufo-Addo. They are also pointing figures at the party for changing the seasoned leader and bringing a comedian like Afenyo. It's one of the reasons that I've read. And I have no doubt that there is some substance in that reason. And lastly, I'm telling you that it is only strong people who recognize their failing and apologize for that feeling. Weak people refuse to do that because they think it's a diminution in status. They are weak when they fail to do
But Honorable, what the MPP is doing It's like the proverbial thing about pointing fingers. They're pointing one finger at President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and all the 4 other fingers are pointing at themselves.
Yeah.
If it's true, if what they are claiming is true, that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was responsible for their loss because of the way he conducted himself in government and the way he handled the party and so on. The reverse question is, how did he succeed? How did the party allow him to do all the things that he did for 8 years? The party was there, silent. They couldn't check him. They couldn't complain. Now he's left office. You are pointing your fingers at him.
It's a convenient dream.
What is this? The party allowed it. I spoke to a leading member of the party some time ago, and I was shocked. This is about 5 years ago, and he was telling me that, look, they are sitting there in the party headquarters pretending to be running the party, and that for everything the party does, they needed to submit a budget to the presidency for approval. The party did not have any resource of its own. So one presidency says no, finish. And they tolerated this for 8 years. They're now complaining to who? To me?
Anyway, I don't even know what to say. My brother has said everything. He has said everything. Look, we were talking about Kwame Nkrumah just a little earlier. And he was reminding us about the motorway. Everything Kwame Nkrumah did in those days was world class. World class. Job 600 that was built by the State Construction Corporation.
Yeah, corporation. SEC.
Was a world class building, monument. World class. In the 60s.
Not beggar and finger.
No. Indigenous Ghanaians put it together. Kwame Nkrumah used our educational system, the civil service, the police and defense apparatus to unify us as a country by transfers. There was a conscious effort to remind us that we are one. That was how many decades ago? Then today we are vetting ministers and we are asking petty questions. Petty questions. It is most unfortunate. But for me, what is even worse is that something I saw last night, which was a repeat of what had happened earlier in the day, which I didn't get the benefit of seeing live. When the minority leader had made a comment to the chairman, and the chairman took offense and asked him to withdraw, the minority leader told him, I will not withdraw.
Yeah.
The chairman gave him opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, 4 times. And he insisted. I was very, very disappointed. To be very polite, I was very disappointed. This is a public platform. This is not 2 lawyers being called before a judge in the judge's chamber. This is not in a courtroom. This is in a committee of parliament that is on a public forum nationwide. Everybody is watching. And even across our country. Outside our country, people are watching. And you behave like this. Apologizing doesn't take anything away from you. It just recognizes the fact that yes, I said something to you, I did not mean to offend you, but you take offense, so I apologize to you out of my own respect for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that what I said is right or wrong. And that is a decent thing to do. So for a minority leader to have refused to do that, what kind of lesson is he teaching the children who were watching, the students who were watching? I thought it was most shameful.
Yeah.
Most shameful. He's my friend, but it is shameful. You know, it's unacceptable. And this whole, and you see now, when you do that, we've had vettings over the past. multiple governments in this current Fourth Republic. But now, because of the way it is going, people are beginning to ask serious questions about the whole modality of vetting process. Why don't we have, if the minister, somebody designate for education or energy or whatever is coming, why don't we get professional bodies to be present to ask questions? Labor unions who are affected to come and pose their questions. Their representatives to come and pose questions and let these people answer for everybody to know what they think. For even the appointing authority to be sure in themselves that the person they have put forward for that position is the right man or woman for the position. This is what we want to see in vetting. Not this pettiness. Pettiness. I mean, now there's so much pettiness where somebody says micro minority, somebody takes offense. Look, in 1996, what was the size of the minority in parliament in those days? They were a micro minority. Yeah. But the substance of their debates, the substance of their submissions and their contributions earned them the respect. It wasn't the numbers. If I'm somewhere and somebody calls me a micro minority, I would take it as a challenge to prove to that person that I am not a micro minority that he thinks I am. That is how you behave. It's not about being in fact, the way they are behaving is most shameful. It is most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. Today, some people, MPP people, are actually having the courage to say, pointing fingers at the former president, that he has something to do with the loss of the party. They are actually saying that today because today he's not in office. And they are sitting down watching the minority leader behave the way he's behaving. I mean, putting the party in tatters. We want a responsible and credible opposition to any government in power to keep their feet to the fire so that Ghanaians get the best out of their government. Not this type of concept, this type of arrogance and behavior that is unacceptable. It is very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I mean, we expect to see, when people are watching vetting, they want to know about the person. Yes, maybe as a public figure, people have seen the person, they know of the person. But how is that person going to be able to perform and deliver? That is what people want to see. But when they're asking these petty questions, go and dance. Dance? You yourself asking the question, are you serious? Are you serious? So I think that the people must sit up. And what is even sad for me is that then when one man decides to say that we are working, and then they all join and they all walk out. Oh! Meanwhile, we all know that of the minority group sitting there, if it had been Mr. A instead of Mr. B, that would not have been what would have happened. Yes, I mean, it's a matter of fact. We've seen them all. We know, we can tell the characters of people. This other man would not have behaved like that. Oh, as for this other man, he would have been worse. We know it. So I expect that those who are wiser, when it happens like that, they should also come out and, show that they can do something better. Because the way they are going, honestly, they are not helping our democratic process. At all. It is most shameful. And I think that moving forward, we should begin to see a better, better behavior and better delivery of the way the whole process is going.